This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Town of Southampton Housing Authority meeting for September 12th, 2022. We have enough members for a quorum today. Let's see, we call the meeting to order. We start, as we always do, with open time to the public. I don't see anyone else trying to get into the meeting or anyone present. So we'll move along. Review and approval of previous minutes.
They look good. I would move to approve them as is.
I'll second.
Okay, let's have a vote. Voice vote, please.
Same as that.
You're slightly apart, so I heard that. 2 ayes and Sini aye. Very good. It's unanimous. Okay. Housing Trust update is our first agenda item.
Okay, I can do that. So we had another meeting with we brought the bylaw committees.
No, it's not the bylaws here. It's the
Housing Trust.
oh,
Sorry.
that's no, it's the property purchase update is the next thing on the agenda. So
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
unless you want to skip around, that's all right too.
No, I didn't. You're right. I misread it. My error. Property purchase update. My error.
So the town administrator would like to know what we want to do about proving parcel is, if it's proving that the parcel is buildable before we move on. So
Well,
do we want to do another perk? Those were his questions.
See, I'm not a builder. I don't have that kind of expertise, but if it's been perked, my question would be, why would we, quote, prove it's buildable if it's already been perked?
yeah, that's my question as well. Is the perk the only thing that contributes to it being buildable? Could we have just sort of a general survey of it, just for someone to go back in, or?
Well, I think we probably have the survey on file, I would guess, but a perk is a different.
So we don't have the last perk test on file.
Yeah, we do. 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the problem?
Yeah, I'm befuddled. I mean, geology doesn't change in a dozen years. So I'm perplexed.
No, I mean, we can say, I just sent him a quick text and said, do we need to do anything? So.
Right. I'm worried. Is this not something I do every day? I guess, is there something that maybe I'm missing that's obvious?
I guess my question, you haven't had any discussions with him other than emails with the signed document then?
Correct. So I have not checked my emails in a couple of days.
Well, I mean, I think it would be maybe our outreach to him to have a conversation about it. So.
Well, I've had communications with Ed about costs and et cetera. This is the first I'm hearing about. I want to confirm it's buildable with a perk that to my memory. So I wouldn't think to have this conversation with him because it doesn't make sense to me. But so I can't outreach, or any of us, I would argue, can't outreach on something that we don't understand or cannot anticipate. Again, maybe I'm missing something.
What if one of you, whoever has a copy of the perk test and the survey, just send it to him in one email, just so he has it in one place, if you guys have it, and say, here's what we have to prove it's buildable. Do you need anything else?
Yeah, I don't know that we need to send him the documents. I mean, the survey would be on file and the perk test is in the Board of Health. So, I mean, so he knows there's a perk. So.
Yeah, so maybe if he's texting you about it, Janet, can you just ask him for confirmation that he truly does need something else? And if so, what?
I've already said, do we need it to do anything?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So that's a little frustrating because it seems like we're stuck.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've got a busy schedule during the week, Jim, but I think it's always good to, I mean, as chair to most committees that I've chaired, I try to, I look to him and just say, is there anything we need to do or need to know? So as our town administrator, but that's just.
Yeah, I'm going to push back on that a little bit.
That's what I'm just sharing with you what I do. I'm not
Yeah.
saying what you should do. That's just what I do.
Right. I can't. Well, never mind. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I can't anticipate what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And if I'm not given some parameters like this is what needs to happen next or some kind of prompts, I can't anticipate what to ask. This is maybe a chicken and the egg thing. I don't know. But I'll do it. Certainly going, tonight when we're done, I'll email Ed and just no worries.
So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know what our next step was either. So.
Well, I mean, I certainly did email him, but not on this very specific topic about is it buildable or not. I did email him and say, what is next? What do we need to do next?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of surprised to prove it's buildable. I mean, it wouldn't be listed.
Yeah, like we wouldn't have bought it if we didn't think
Wasn't buildable.
Right. So
maybe Ed is just distracted by his many, many, many tasks that he's supposed to do in the small amount of hours he's given.
Right. Or
we haven't purchased it yet. So maybe he's wondering before we purchase it, do we really want to make 100% certain that there's no issues?
Right.
Yeah, because the property value is listed lower and there was like some confusion about that. Maybe that's why.
Right. We're speculating. And I'm not an expert, I'll say. I have an email here, last email with Ed on September 6th. So they don't know, Jim, it's the procurement requirements. You bid for the land. We have to advertise in the Central Register of State. So my sense is we were waiting for the Central Register and the state, the uniqueness of the property for this purpose. Not about you think it's buildable. So I'm missing something.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, it just came out. I'm just, because I texted him about the code. He just texted me back about that. So to bring it up. So I don't. To the best of our knowledge, there's no reason to think it's not buildable. So.
Right. But to try to close this loop, because we do want to make sure, right? I will follow up with an email. I'll CC you both and Joy to Ed and make sure we're dotting all I's and crossing all T's. Because I do get anxious about we need to be spending CPA money appropriately. This is a buildable lot. It's been perked. But we're going to triple check. Okay. Next agenda item. Sorry.
Just taking my notes from my minutes. So.
No worries. Housing trust update. I'm toggling between multiple screens being open here. So next is housing trust update.
Okay, so after the first meeting with the bylaw review committee that had some questions for Shelley Goring, which I sent to her, she answered them. Janet and I went back to the bylaw committee, brought the answers to the questions, and bylaw committee determined that they were ready to move it up to the select board. And so it's on the agenda for the select board tomorrow.
Oh.
They're going to check it out. We were hoping Shelley could be there to answer any questions they have, but she is not available. But I'm going to be there. I don't know if Janet's planning to be there.
I'm going to be there as the chair of this ad hoc senior center feasibility committee.
Okay, cool. So I'm
Joy's
going to try to only
Joy's not going to be at the select board meeting?
Who? Joy?
Joy?
No, she should be there. It's Shelley who can't be there.
So I'm not going to be there as part of the trust because we didn't post a joint meeting. So I'm going to be there as on another committee. So we didn't have to
Oh,
post.
okay. So as long as you don't say anything from the point of view as the housing authority, it's okay for us, the three of us, to be there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. We
Okay.
can be in the same room.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah, I'm just going to pop in for that one moment, hopefully. It looks like a long meeting. And then we have another meeting with Shelley next Wednesday, the 21st, to bring back any questions that the select board has about the bylaw. And then after that,
Post that, yeah.
after that, it would go through, as long as there's no other issues, it would go through the legal review, and we try to get it into the town meeting if and when there's a special town meeting this fall.
Wow. Some real awesome progress.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done. So I'm just perusing over at the select board agenda, and I do see Affordable Housing Trust on their agenda under new business.
So how far down the agenda is that?
It's about halfway down.
I emailed Chris to be like, can you give me some kind of ballpark of when that's going to be? Because there's a lot. They're doing a slate of officers. I guess maybe it's a whole thing. That looks like that meeting is going to take like 4 hours.
Oh, short one.
Ouch. Do you feel empowered and informed to be able to answer all their questions sufficiently, Sierra? Are you feeling good about this? Something I can help with, or Janet? Well, Janet, you're going to be there, obviously.
Yeah.
I can be there if you think it would be helpful.
We haven't posted it as a joint meeting, Jim. so-
Right.
Well, I would be, if you would like to be there, Jim, I would be more than happy to not attend.
Well, I think you can speak to it more clearly than I can.
Yeah, because I have been working. Yeah, so I'm happy
Yeah.
to attend. I think anything I can't answer, I'm going to just say, I'll take it to Shelley and get back to you. And then when we have our meeting with her the week after, we'll just figure that out. And Joy may be able to answer with her amazing legal expertise. Also, Chris, having been as part of the bylaw review committee, she had like some sort of like thoughts. We did a little bit of like discussing, figuring out what things mean, et cetera. So I feel like there's a few people present who will be able to help out. But if there's anything beyond the scope of what I know, I'll just save it for Shelley.
Perfect. Well, that's great. Thank you. Any additional thoughts or comments on the Housing Trust? Moving forward, this is a key component of what we're trying to do.
I'm hoping that maybe they can move you up earlier in the new business agenda too, but I don't.
Probably
Yeah.
everyone on that new business agenda wants to be moved up.
Well, I don't know that there's other people. So, I mean, if you look at license to right to entry, that's, I'm not sure there's somebody weights and measures. I don't know if that's.
Well, to me, it doesn't really matter what time it is, as long as I know when it is and can like come and go.
Yeah. So it's going to be certainly later in the hour.
Yeah.
Hours. So.
Yeah.
They were telling me for the feasibility committee, probably 6:30 at the earliest. And I think that's optimistic. So.
Yeah.
So you're a late nighter though.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, it'll be fine.
You just don't want to be there all night.
Well, I have like a weekly Zoom chat with my friends at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, which I think is going to fall right exactly when I need to be there, but it's not the end of the world. So it's all good.
Okay. Well, let's move along then to planning board zoning bylaw update.
I think that's also on the agenda for tomorrow. 1 second. So we may learn more about that at that point.
Right.
So,
I have been in communication with Paul, but it has been, he's saying there's a September 21st meeting with PVPC. Yeah.
Okay, the only thing on the agenda, it just says bylaws draft, so that's not really any kind of discussion on that.
Yeah, so where is it on this agenda? It's here somewhere?
On the select board or our agenda?
No, under the, you said, I thought somebody mentioned it was on.
Oh, it just says under new business, it says bylaws draft, so I assumed it might be among those, but that, what we're talking about is the like more substantial edits we want to make to it with PVPC.
Right.
Right.
So just kidding. Yeah.
And I'm not even certain if that select board bylaws draft is even the planning board or.
Yeah, I don't think so. I would be
Yeah.
surprised, but I don't know. So
I guess I'm, where it last is with Paul is we could potentially have a joint meeting on September 21st.
I mean, I don't mind doing it if I know what the agenda item is.
Right.
I haven't seen that.
Right.
So.
Right. Are they ready to have a joint meeting with us to talk about what they've developed? And so let me follow up with Paul. But if the 21st for your calendars, is that looking at this moment available for both of you?
Necessary. I mean, there's nothing posted in his agenda right now, so.
Yeah. And they may not be ready yet.
Yes, but I'm sure they could use a prod in the right direction.
I don't mind prompting. Okay.
So the difference between the planning board zoning bylaw update and the planning board PVPC input participation, are they one and the same on our agenda?
They are not one and the same. I'm sorry. So the input participation is the 21st.
Okay.
Right. The zoning bylaw update is separate, but it's related because when we have the PVPC input, that's what Paul's waiting for to move forward with a bylaw update. So they're not ordered well, my bad, on the agenda. Chronologically, they should be reversed.
They kind of blur together, sort of.
They're definitely related,
Right.
but one must come before the other. So the input from PVPC is what Paul's waiting on to help move forward some bylaw changes. Hence, we were targeting the September 21st, and I will pursue that because if Ken, who's working with them, is going to provide a report on that date, I think it'd be good for us to hear. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Does that make sense? Yeah,
if we all need to be there, or if, somebody can report back to the committee at the next meeting, I guess is the question, and what's needed.
And I suspect we don't all need to be there. I can represent as the chair. If you guys are okay with that, then we don't have to worry about posting a joint meeting, to your point, Janet, right? If there's just one of us there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's PVPC input versus our input,
right?
Just to hear what they're saying. If it's not a joint discussion amongst the three of us, then
I'll try to filter that out with Paul when I connect with him about what's going on the 21st, if something's going on. Does he anticipate that the PVPC input is a time of discussion and where our input as a team is important, or are we really just consuming his report? Does that make sense? Because there's obviously a difference. There's going to be a lot of back and forth dialogue with Ken, et cetera. I think our input is important. It's more of this is what I found, and then we're going to schedule, people are going to consume it, and then we do input. That's another thing entirely. So I will follow up with Paul on that and let you folks know what I learned. Okay. if there's nothing further on the bylaw update and the input for participation from PVPC, because that is the bylaw update.
Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
New member recruitment. I put this on here because Janet and I, were at the Southampton days or Old Home days, whatever they want to call it now.
Celebrate Southampton, yes.
Celebrate Southampton. Thank you. Where Tammy Wilunas was named Citizen of the Year. Well-deserved, in my opinion. She really did a great job organizing this. A lot of work. But anyway, Janet, you and I, we spoke to a lot of folks. Some people stopped by. But I didn't have any success in recruiting any new members, which is disappointing. People are interested, but to a degree.
Not necessarily serving. I think they're interested in what's happening in town with affordable housing, but.
Right.
So that was the good news, I guess, that people were interested.
Yes.
That we hadn't seen at meetings or anything, so.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I guess I was hoping for a lot, the interest is good. But anyway, so time is running short. It'll be town election in the spring before we know it. I'm trying to think of any other ideas we might have about soliciting interest on this housing authority from townsfolk.
I don't know.
Find out who moves to the town and then just like jump on them immediately.
Right. Who's new in town? Is there a welcoming committee?
Yeah, maybe it.
And we can continue to outreach to our circle of friends and acquaintances and see if we can send anybody along, right? So
like direct word of mouth seems to be the most effective way to get people.
Yeah. A cold solicitation is really a shot in the dark. It's about conversations.
We can keep sending flyers to retired people in town. Maybe if I could get bored this winter, maybe we'll do another batch of those, but it's not the most successful method.
Do you have any new members of the Council on Aging or participants in the?
We're down a member, so.
Yeah. How about at the senior center? Any new members? Any walk-ins?
Let's get the senior center walk-ins.
My pickleball senior center group is growing leaps and bounds.
Well, don't they want to be on the housing authority?
Yeah, really. I can see a connection between pickleball and housing authority. I mean, look at you, Janet. There's a strong, you do both, so can others.
Yeah, that's true. That's scientific causation right there.
I'm going to make that leap.
Go for it.
Okay.
I just think we need to just continue to outreach to a circle of friends and acquaintances. So
we'll do.
Yep, we will do. Absolutely. That reminds me, there is somebody. You're right. There's somebody just saying that, Janet, reminded me of there's somebody new in town I met who looks like they could potentially. Yes. Inspiration. All right. Next agenda item. Is there any items that cannot wait until the next meeting? How's that for an open item?
That's a good, I always add that in, Jim. Sorry.
I love it.
So can I just ask a favor?
Because I'm going to miss things. So I think that's entirely appropriate.
It appears on numerous agendas. So, and it's,
there's precedence.
I guess I have one favor to ask, which I don't catch. So when I have to add the Zoom, can we just put via Zoom in the meeting thing and not Zoom pending? Because it still says Zoom pending.
Yeah, I noticed that when I went in tonight, like that doesn't read well. You're
I
right.
don't change it. I didn't see it. So if we just put via Zoom and we add Zoom within the proper amount of open law, then we don't maybe need to put Zoom pending, because yes, well, I just saw it tonight for the first time. So it looks like we're pending and we're not. And I just didn't catch it when I added the Zoom info. And if it's one less thing for me to, if I need
Yes.
to add the Zoom, then
Yep.
just put via Zoom, and we put it in the body of the agenda, as most committees put it just in the body of the agenda anyway. So
Right. That's what,
it would be okay.
that's why, absolutely. That's why I wrote pending, because I didn't have a link to put in there yet. But you're right. Then if I don't change it, it doesn't get changed. It's not good. It doesn't read
Right.
well at all. It's confusing. I agree with you. It's just easier to say via Zoom. We know that's where we're going to go.
Right. And then
Yep.
we can just add it before the 48-hour deadline. So that would just, I apologize. I added the Zoom and I didn't see it in the title. So I just was focused on getting my job done.
Teamwork, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the only item I have that can't wait till the next meeting.
That's a good item. So just to review our follow-up again, Sierra is going to attend tomorrow evening select board meeting. I am going to email Ed, our town administrator, and confirm that we're not missing something. And actually, I'll be more specific to clarify what he means by to ensure it's buildable. What does that mean? What does he suggest? Because we have a perk on file, blah, 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 blah.
So I did get a response from him, just so I just looked at my phone again. So he said, you will have to let me know what actions you want to take to prove that it is a viable building lot. That's one of the conditions Jim had recommended. So
Well,
I'm the messenger.
yeah,
so
okay. I'll
he's already taken care of the title search, but
right.
town council, but I guess. So I'm going to back and let you and him have that discussion. So.
Sure. We're both being very cautious, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing, because the less thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, if a perk test, we have the monies in the CPA funds to do that. Again, maybe I don't want to waste money, but if there's any
Right.
concern because of the water level or whatever.
Maybe they expire. I don't know.
They don't expire, but I mean, if the water level was very low, we just want to make, I don't know. I guess you had some kind of conversation about things, and that's just.
We had conversations, but I think we're both just trying to make sure we dot I's and cross T's.
Yeah.
But I think we're tripping over one another and being overly cautious, because my limited familiarity with perk tests is that they don't necessarily, you have a perk test, it's perkable. It's not like, well, we tested it when it was dry, so we need to test it again. They bring in water, but anyway, speculating. And I don't like living in a world of speculation.
So, I mean, if we need to do a perk test and people, he recommends that, I mean, I'll make a motion if it's a necessary step to come to the closure on purchasing the property, that we move forward if it's considered a necessary step.
That's actually a good idea for a motion, because the last thing we want to do is have to have another meeting to say, yes, we need to do this, right? So the motion has been put forward that if for another perk is needed to confirm buildability, it's a buildable lot. We vote to spend. Do we have access to the funds to do that?
Yeah, I mean, we got so much approved from the CPC, and part of that, I think, was some possibility of a perk test.
Okay.
The committee or commission did approve, I think, 125,000. So we have monies.
We have funds
if it's needed, not just to spend, but to confirm.
Sure.
So the motion to approve if a perk test is needed to move forward.
Has it been? Will there be a second?
Indeed, I second the motion.
Okay, we'll do a voice vote, please.
Can- No matter, we pause, we wait, we be courteous, and we still.
It's okay. We all know it's a chorus of eyes.
I heard the separation there. I
Yeah,
picked up
there's
on
two
it.
different voices there.
Yes.
So
And
a chair can't make a motion or second a motion? Okay. Good to know. Sorry. You can say your aye now, Joan.
Senior eye. There we go. I think I can vote. So
Yes.
especially when
Yes, you can vote, yes.
yes, good thing because we're at 3. Okay, that was an excellent motion. Thank you, Janet.
Yeah, to avoid any need for another meeting, so.
Yes.
Or hold up the purchase, either, so.
So I was also going to say, in addition to emailing Ed, I will email Paul about getting clarification for is the September 21st meeting with PVPC still going to happen? And is it an iterative back and forth meeting where input is required, or just taking Ken's report and consuming it and then sharing it? And I'll let you folks know. And I'm hearing from you both that you're available on the 21st, as am I, if it's required.
If needed, yeah.
Yeah, if otherwise, I will attend as the sole representative. That work for folks? Everyone's cool with
We
that?
have our 9 o'clock housing trust meeting right that day, so the other side of the day.
I hope that a 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.
Oh, AM.
Oh, okay. So they're starting meetings late. That's getting close to my
Mhm.
bedtime. Well, I'm glad you guys can make a 9 a.m. meeting on a Wednesday.
It could be better at 9 PM for some of us.
Yeah.
Not, but it was a matter of like getting everyone to agree on a date, and that was what we'd done before. So I was like, let's just stick with it. I'll be sleepy. It'll be fine.
Do you think Emma's going to put an agenda together, or is that something I just put something together just to review the select board?
I think you might as well put together an agenda just to get it posted, because Shelley's not going to be back till the 14th. So she may need to discuss with Shelley what the agenda is, but then by the time it doesn't answer, it'll be too late to post it. So
Yeah, I mean, it gives us, we can post it and adjust it up until the Monday. Well,
okay.
Maybe Friday, no, Thursday morning.
Well, you can always put an agenda item that says anything else that can't wait for the next meeting.
Absolutely. That's a given.
Alrighty then. So the next agenda item is to schedule the next meeting.
So the second Monday in October is Indigenous Peoples Day.
It is. The
Yeah.
10th.
Do you not want to
10-10.
meet on a national holiday?
That would be a no-no.
I would think probably not, since we avoided Labor Day.
I would propose, I'm going to be busy on Monday the 17th, so I would suggest that we meet on October 3rd, if that's not too soon.
So that would, only problem with that is that's our old schedule, and that may not work for Joy, but
But Joy wasn't here today anyway, so what are you going to do?
so we're going to throw her under the bus. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, otherwise it gets too late.
It does get late. We're
And we
looking
will
at the
have things to
24th.
talk about, because hopefully like these things we're discussing will have moved forward. So I think
Yeah. I'll second the recommendation for October 3rd at 6 o'clock.
Okay. I don't think we need to vote on that, do we, or do we?
Yeah, we don't usually, I guess. It's not a
Just-
motion so
Or
much.
it's not a motion. You said seconded, and I had an auto
I know,
response,
I was just-
automated response. Okay, 10-3 at 6 p.m. I like that. Very good. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Simmons, aye.
Kane, I.
Senior, I see when it really counted in the end, which is to end.
We paused.
You did a wonderful job. We all did.
6:48 PM, agenda.
All right.
I'm going to
Guys,
stop.
have-
the-
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.